Welcome to Elite Reaver's Fate. So, level 16. One piece of gear that I thought I'd mention, I just picked it up and installed on Summerfield, is the Stormsinger Cloak. Resistance 4, Perform 11. Perform does help Sonic spell power, so that could be, an okay item for a Fey-packed Warlock. Just thought I'd mention that real quick. Got some changes in the gear. This is the same Charismatic 6 goggles. Got the heavy blue dragon plate armor on now. So as I mentioned last video, I did have to take medium armor proficiency and then heavy armor proficiency. The enhancement in the Warlock Enlightened Spirit Tree that gives you medium armor proficiency doesn't count as the prerequisite for the actual heavy armor proficiency feat. So that was a pretty steep investment. I do have higher PRR now, and I'm up to 90. And that's got some general spell lore on it. 6%, which is nice. Potency 52. This is a new item, Good Luck 2 and Necrofocus 2. I'm finding myself using Finger of Death situationally, so I wanted to have a little bit better saves. And this is also new Kinetic Lore 5 and Dexterity 4. The Freedom of Movement boots are the same. Strength 6 same. Circle of Hatred's the same as last video. Min 2 belt is the same as the last video. Constitution 6 is the same. Blasting Chime's the same. I just added Feather Falling to that. Silver Flame Talisman's the same, and Concordant Opposition Helmet is the same. I did upgrade the purple slot to a Sapphire Defense 10. That's a minimum level 16 augment. That's just up from 8. And still using the Lit 2 Longsword. On the enhancement side, I'm almost there to making all my dreams come true of working up to a Death Ward, which comes from the Tainted Lore Innate. I have to have 20 points spent in this tree. I have 17 right now. I could easily pull 2 more because this point in Constitution's putting me at an odd number. But I'll definitely have that by next video. The tricky part is I'm at a point where I don't really want to spend any more points in this tree. There's not really anything I'm going to want that I think is meaningful. Like I could pick up some extra spell points. I could pick up a few extra, effectiveness of my scrolls. I'm not scroll healing that much though, but I could pick up Utter Dark Blast, so we'll see. I also picked up Arcane Fluidity, which reduces my arcane spell failure while wearing armor by 15%. That only affects armor, not shields. So that costs 3 action points. It is partially offset by the fact that I don't have to have medium armor proficiency enhancement from the Enlightened Spirit Tree, so that pays for 2 of it. So it's really kind of just an extra action point to get that. Nothing else going on over here. Right, let's do this. So I'm splicing a second video because I got all the way to the end and was working on the puzzle and just lagged out for about 5 minutes, and when it finally came to, the Doomsday device had exploded. So that was frustrating to go through the whole thing and then blow up. Especially because this fight ended up being really long and boring. Now last try, he ended up lighting the 4 corners right away, so I just had a ton of air elementals, which was fun. But then after that, it was just really, really boring. Definitely like the aura better for when the air LEs are out, because even when they're knocking me down, it's able to take damage. It's tough to tell if it's better to try to burst him or just to blast him, because if I could stand next to him all the time, then I would definitely say the burst, but he keeps knocking you away, which sort of suggests that the blast would be better, because you can hit him even while he's knocking you away. The timer there, you can see on the back wall, works kind of like an abacus. It's, when this column works down, then it pulls a symbol off of the next column. When that column works down, it pulls a symbol off of this column. And it just keeps counting down that way. Don't really care about the charges as a warlock, but if you're not familiar with this raid, the Storm Reaver gives off static charges, and they build up on your buff bar, and it starts off like minor, and then works up to major. And once you get the major static charge, you start regaining spell points really fast, like 250 per tick. And so it's nice for casters to try to get that major static charge. But then if he hits you again with the static charge, then it wipes it off and starts over. So it could be a little tricky to try to keep that major static charge for long enough to get all your spell points back. I gotta fly. Guess it's time to go up. So, I had a question recently. I mentioned in another video somewhat recently that somebody was asking, how can you solo this? Because do you have enough time to fly up and get the lever and come back? And absolutely you do, and I'll show you. I think I got a little bit of a late start, but should still have plenty of time. If you get started right away, then you should have about 20 seconds to spare. I might have closer to 10 seconds. One of the mistakes that people who are newer to this raid make is they go the wrong way when they fly up, because you can actually fly up to the east, and there's another lever over there, and so they pull a lever and they think, oh, it's that's the kill lever and everything's fine. But if you fly up to the east, that's the lever that lets the soul stones out of the penalty box, and that's if you die, you go to the penalty box in this raid. You can't raise through normal means. So when you're flying up, bottom line is that you just want to make sure that you go to the west if you're going for the kill lever. And if there are multiple people who fly, and you're doing like an at-level raid, and short-handed or something, or a lot of people dead, and you want to get them out, you can send a person up to the east and let those people out. Oh yeah, I still have 25 seconds left on fly. Every time I switch between windowed mode and full screen mode, my recorder wants to stop recording. So once I get to the next part, I'm going to have to switch to windowed mode so I can see the solver. So I'll have to splice those two videos together. You'll just see a quick break. I should be using tentacles a little bit more. Oh, another thing I picked up at level 15 is the Misty Escape, and that's like the abundant step thing. Let's see if I can do it when I fly. Hey, sweet. That'll never come in handy. But Misty Escape was a big part of the reason I chose Fade Pack, because I just love a fast movement option like that. Like, I love the snow slide that the Winter Wolf gets for Druid, and the wind dance that the Air Savants have, and this tune used to be an Air Savant. Didn't play her much, for the last few years, but I really enjoyed that part of it. So I'm just coming off, my last video was Elite Demon Queen. It took me 5 tries to get that, and that was a humbling experience. And afterwards I was telling my guilty dread, I'm like, oh, it took me 5 tries, and he's TRing this leg with me. So he was at the same level, and he's like, what? He's like, I did it 1 try, no problem. Like, oh man, that's embarrassing. He does have higher spell power than I do. He's got actually like a level of a cleric and favorite soul. He's doing like couple levels of each to try to get maximum spell power, and so obviously that's going to make a difference, because the quicker you can kill her, the less damage she's doing to you. Where are we at on time? Looks good. This is a fun challenge to solo if you've never soloed it. Really, the thing is you just got to have enough DPS to beat him down in time. You know, as a timed raid, you have 20 minutes, and you do have to allow some extra time. You really have about 15 minutes to beat him down because you got to allow for time to fly up and back and then do the puzzle. So, you know, if you can take him down in about 15 minutes, then you should have plenty of time to do the other tasks. Alright, it's enough of that Joker. So if you hadn't pulled the kill lever, then there'd be a blue barrier up and that would not come down. I'm going to switch to windowed mode here. Oops, that's still from my last attempt. There we go, there's a fresh solver. Well, you can see I made it to the second iteration before it hung up. One white, 0 black. So it says 2, 3, 5, 5 is the next combination. Let's get that aura going. Oh, I don't have a lot of time left. Two white, 0 black. 3, 2, 3, 6. Two black, 2 white. 1, 1, 3, 1. Six, 2, 3, 3. Hell yeah. 33,652. There is a 30% bonus going on with XP, but still pretty good XP at level. It's really fun to do, like, I mean, you can solo it, you know, or if you have a little, even a little group going, do the flagging quest, and then carry it right through the raid. Definitely worthwhile. I don't need anything here, but let's see what I get. Hair dye honey. That's what makes it all worth it. That'll be going away in one of my games soon. Hey, thanks for watching this video of me soloing Reaver's Fate. If you have any questions about the video, you can respond on YouTube. If you have questions about the build I'm doing, you can respond in the Warlock forums. And if you happen to be on Saralona, you are welcome to send me a tell.